Hey, what's up, guys? Dally here, here for another little motivational video for y'all. So I wanted to talk about today, let's just say you're a musician, you go into, a studio to go record, stuff like that. You start meeting some real people in the industry or, just heavily in the things that you're trying to go for, right? And you start looking around, they're like, oh man, they got all this nice gear, they have all this rack mount equipment, they have nice amplifiers, they got a nice mixing board, they just have a nice space, just in general. You're like, man, how'd they get here? How or and mainly though it's about people, who will be like, why aren't I here? Like, why isn't this me and stuff? And I want to talk about how, people sometimes feel down on themselves because they aren't there. And, and really you shouldn't beat yourself up because, it's taken their whole life to get to that point. And also you're seeing a glimpse of just where they're at currently, so it's not where, they're going to be at, forever, but, it took their whole life to get there. And to get all these things, that they have that, that you might be impressed by or whatever, they had to get each thing one by one. So I, like, for example, my beautiful Eurorack here, I had, I had to go and, pretty much get every single module individually. Modules mean module, or modular mean modules, um, so I had to get each single one, so all 30 of those, plus I have a couple over there, um, that I don't use in the case anymore. It's not for the long-term goal for that case. Of course I have like one coming in, and, yeah, so I mean, pretty much that's been like a whole journey. Um, and yeah, and even like my white, ligature, headless ghost. I, it took me, when I was working a sales training gig, and I went out of town, and then, for some stuff, and I got recomped, and I was able to get that guitar with that cash, and just from doing the work and do the things, while I was doing that gig. And, that's just where, yeah, you'll get one step at a time. So, and what kind of inspired me to make this video was, well, one of my friends actually talk about this. I had a couple different friends. They're just how, they're like, oh man, I just don't seem like I'm doing enough, or at least to where they're at in their life, or, and that's where it's just, it, like I keep saying, it's taken their whole life to get there, so if you're a 20-year-old and you're looking up at a 4-year-old, I'm like, man, they got this nice house, they have property, they, got a nice space, it's well furnished, and you're like, oh man, you're like, oh man, I'm just some kid in the garage, that's just working in the garage or whatever, it's like, no, that's just where you're at right now, and as long as you're actually putting in the time, putting in the work, putting in the money, more importantly, or not more importantly, but time is money. Money you get by putting your time into it, but money is an energy, it's a resource to get more of what you want or already have. So, and that's where, just with that, it's taken a long time for some people. I mean, there's some people like that I've seen, even, or, in the music industry and stuff. I mean, a good one, a good success story rather, of how it took, until like their mid 40s to really have a breakthrough, like a huge breakthrough. And, and they recorded their, the first album that went platinum, when they're like 46, and yeah, that's where it's, so like I hear stuff like that too, and it's just really, it's like, if you're doing the right thing, you're being yourself, and you're still trying to go for it, even if you do take a little break to get a little refresher, or just kind of, like renewal, yourself, your playing, or anything like that. Just as long as you have that long-term goal in mind and you are going for it, and you spend even 50 minutes a day or whatever, still it's you're gonna get there. Or even if you're not playing guitar every day, or I'm not, you work on the Urac like every day. Sometimes I'll take a couple, like 2-3 day breaks sometimes from one or the other, or both sometimes. And even though it's super easy for me to make patches on here, still, like, it won't be out, I won't be inspired or whatever, but I might still be mixing stuff, or I might still try to put together a funny video or like something like that. But I'm working, you know still towards that goal, or still even just having the downtime to just kind of refresh myself after I've been like grinding out, like material, or regarding like videos on top of, like, just other music, that has music deadlines. And then also, you know like, still maintain the band, or like doing things like that. It's like, man, you can't beat yourself up, and for me to get to the point where I'm at, shoot, even when, or so back to kind of the main thing is like, oh, where you're at now, you know eh, uh, you know or well, so my friend Corey, like, he was about to turn 29. It's kind of like, oh man, it kind of feels like how it was when I was 20. um I'm just wanting to get, it's like, just reflecting and trying to think, like, oh, why aren't I quite there yet? And sometimes you are, and you don't even know it. Or just like, let's just say, let's talk about like a legendary venue, or just some legendary venues and stuff that you've heard from these stories, these bands, especially on like the LA Strip and stuff. You go there, it's just a hole in the wall, like, essentially. And but it's just the memories and everything that happened within that space, and the scene stuff. That's what made it, and so you're probably doing a bit better. I mean, if you're not in trouble, you're with the law or anything like that, you're not having people really like witch hunt you or anything like that. You're definitely doing better than a lot of people. And and you should definitely give yourself credit when it's due. um Especially if you have impacted other people as well, and they congratulate you. Yeah, definitely. That, I mean, that's what it's about. It's taken years for me to even get any type of recognition, just like within the community and stuff like that. I mean, I'm 26. When I was 20, I was like, shoot, why aren't I touring? Why aren't I doing stuff like that? Or it was like I was 18, and I was getting into like my first like real bands and stuff outside of my local, like just my county scene. And I was actually, starting to play out towards, like Detroit and like stuff like that, and actually go travel to practice and be in bands and stuff. And and to think even from then, or like when I was 18, I guess better off, I thought, man, why isn't it working? Why aren't I doing these things and stuff? I look, now I'm like, I just turned 26 recently, and I've done a lot, a lot more than a lot of people. Even before I was in forces, I played over 100 shows, just locally and, in the state and stuff. And yeah, it just goes to show. I mean, it's taken almost 17 years of playing guitar to get to where I'm at. All the knowledge, all the thousands of hours of practice, So it's more of a long-term game, and don't look for instant gratification. It's not real. Um, you know, um, And that's where, essentially just know that, you have your whole life to get there. Don't beat yourself up. It's taken, I mean, well, you're just seeing a glimpse of someone else's life to where it's taken their whole life to get everything that they've accomplished and stuff. And you know what? And glimpses of that stuff, it might seem all glamorous and whatnot. And, you know, it's not all, or, all that, like once you really get there, and, or at least to where, oh, I'll never have problems and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's, you're always going to run into something, just as long as you're having fun and you're keeping at it, then yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I hope this was motivational. I hope this helped out. Go ahead and check out, of course, my YouTube channel at Dallasberry Official, my Facebook at Dallasberry Music, as well as my band 313 on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, and also have, of course, my chill project One Sleepy Boy. That's all on YouTube and on Facebook as well as all other streaming platforms. Music for 313 is coming soon. Also check out Dally CB underscore himself, and then also Dally CB underscore patch of the day on Instagram, where you can check out content that I don't have on my YouTube or Facebook sometimes. So take it easy and have a nice day.